Now, this morning sees the first of a special series of reports about the Mustard Seed Communities, a charity which cares for abandoned and disabled children in Jamaica. And one community which captured our hearts is Sophie's Place, a home for children with severe disabilities. Founded by Irish donors over 20 years ago, Sophie's Place is now in urgent need of repair and funding. And all week we're appealing for your help to raise funds to build a new cottage for the children, fully funded by Ireland AM viewers. First, though, here's how I got on when I visited Kingston in Jamaica, the home of Mustard Seed. Jamaica is probably best known for its beautiful beaches, rum and reggae music, and as the birthplace of legends like Bob Marley and Usain Bolt. But I've come to this Caribbean island to find out more about the Mustard Seed Communities. Founded over 40 years ago, Mustard Seed provides care for the most vulnerable people in Jamaican society, housing over 400 children and adults in 13 different homes across the island. Our first stop is at my father's house in Kingston.
Welcome to my
I sat down with the charity's founder, Monsignor Gregory Ramkissoon, to find out more about his vision and mission. You started just looking at poor people in a desperately poor area.
That's right.
And you just wanted to help them get some education.
That's right.
So when did the seed of Mustard Seed and helping disabled and disadvantaged children and people who are challenged, where did that come from?
Okay, so in doing my master's in planning, I found out a few things. One, that is great if you can plan when you have everything at your disposal. But you can't plan very well if everything is not at your disposal. What causes nothing to be at your disposal is badly run country, poor people, you know, and all lack of resources. And the first step is you start with the worst of the worst, because, and the worst of the worst,
the ones who need the most help.
That's right. And
it's logical.
And I found out in countries and in poor countries is not just the worst slum dweller. It's the worst who are thrown out of the road because they're disabled, mental, physical, handicapped. There's a little negativity. Something is wrong with you or you're lying.
So these people thought that these were even more cursed than they were?
Absolutely, and even now, children with AIDS, there's a taboo many times against them. So when the university invited me in '82 to come and teach planning at the university, I said, my God, we already have a school there, let's go for it. I went, and then Professor Golding, another Jewish professor, he said, look, Gregory, there are kids, they're sleeping on the gully. We found a couple of kids on a heap on the garbage. There's some at the gas station.
You have rescued children from skips, from, from bins, rubbish bins.
Yes, and not only in Jamaica, Nicaragua, all over. No, so he said, why can't you do something? I said, me, I have no. I said, you're the doctor. He said, no, you have a room. You have a room, a little building over at Mona Common, opposite the hospital. Could you put these kids? I said, I have no. He said, yes, you can do. So I took the kids, and then I said, my God, what a miracle could be done just to see a kid smile, just to see a kid with a full tummy of food. But no parent came, nobody came. But the thing was, the core of our vision was the worst of the worst. And even in very poor country, they're worse than what you see.
Caring, sharing, training. That's Mustard Seed's philosophy. But while caring comes first, training and education is of huge importance. And from preschool to pottery, local children and residents all benefit from the charity's educational and outreach programs. Ricky has been a resident at Mustard Seed for over 20 years, and he now works in the pottery studio at my father's house, where he makes ceramic angels that are sold in the charity shop. Sheldon McLean is also a resident, and he's now the charity's IT specialist. He told me how Mustard Seed gave him a bright future after he was abandoned as a baby. You were born with spina bifida?
Yes.
And you were abandoned by your parents at 3, was it?
Yes.
To a local hospital?
Yes.
And it was in the hospital you met Monsignor Gregory?
Yes.
And obviously you were taken care of?
Yes.
And you went to school?
Yes.
And I ask you, you're now 33, you're highly qualified, you're highly educated? you have a future. Have you met your parents? Have you a relationship with them? Have you ever found them?
No, I've never found them.
Have you looked for them?
No. There's sometimes that there is this urge that says, you know, every child should know their parents and want to, but then again, I'm thinking about what would happen if they had to come now and starting to explain to me what the situation was, why they abandoned me and so forth. That would take maybe a different turn on life. So I'm in good hands. And
you have a wonderful family here.
Yes.
But you would, if you had one question for your parents, what would it be?
Why? That would be my question to them.
Mustard Seed is growing every year, gaining new residents and staff. Executive Director Darcy Tulloch-Williams showed me the meditation room, where carers come to reflect on their work. What's this, Darcy?
This is our adoration room. We have our staff giving back 2.4 hours per day in terms of devotion. So they are required to come at times and just come to the adoration room and chill, literally, you know.
For contemplation?
Yeah, because the work we do is so difficult, and I think it's so important to have them come and literally debrief, you know.
Monsignor Gregory explains the importance of this reflection time for staff.
That helps us develop a spiritual approach to caring. First, forget about God for the moment. Caring for the children.
So they never forget why they're here.
Because the children, you could get fed up, and especially when these people are not trained, you know, they're not trained as nurses. I have to train them when they come. Oh my God, I am fed up. No! We are training them to love their spirit and then their body. So, oh my God, I don't want, so they have favorites there now, the most crippled of child, from the dung heap, it doesn't matter. Oh my God, what a lovely child, because I am meditating to see the inner of this person. Because loving a child doesn't need head alone, it needs heart first. Sophie's Place is a mustard seed home for 21 children with severe disabilities. This is where I'll be staying with the Irish volunteers during my visit to Jamaica. I met Administrator Christine Madden-Watson, who told me about the challenges of caring for these children.
Well, I came to Mustard Seed in 2004, right out of nursing school. I came here on work experience and I never left.
There's a lovely feeling in the place. I imagine it's very rewarding to work here, but also very challenging.
Yes, it is.
When you came here, did you know almost immediately, this is going to be my life's work?
No.
Really?
Because when I came first, I was a little bit scared because I've never encountered persons with disabilities like this before, like I've seen in my children. And then I started warming up to them, and then I just fell in love with them. All our children have CP, has cerebral palsy. So they have CP, and then they have seizure disorders, and then we have one Down syndrome child.
Christine, obviously you're dealing with children who have life-limiting conditions.
Yes, I do.
And very fulfilling that you manage to give them the best while they are alive. But life is a struggle, it's a challenge for them.
Yes.
And they lose that challenge and struggle. You lost one recently, Courtney.
Yes, we lost Courtney in January this year. Courtney had CP, and he also had seizure disorder. Courtney was one of the child that would just cry for no apparent reasons, and we didn't know what really was wrong with Courtney. Not amount of comforting, nothing would not stop him from crying on most days. So he finally went home in January to the Lord.
And you had his memorial?
And we had his memorial Saturday the 23rd here at Sophie's Place.
2 days ago.
2 days ago. So his mother was an integral part of his life while he was at Sophie's. So she and her family members were at the memorial.
And how do you cope with something like that? Because you can't tell me that you don't bring that home with you.
With the grace of God and the fellow care workers and co-workers and stuff like that, we get through.
Do you ever question the size of the task and wonder?
Sometimes. But sometimes it gets overwhelming, and you just sit back and you say, God, why me? And then the voice come and say, why not you?
And if you don't do it, who will?
Who will?
Founded by Irish donors over 20 years ago, Sophie's Place is now in urgent need of repair and funding so they can keep providing round-the-clock care for residents. Please text Mustard Seed to 50300 to donate €4 to the Mustard Seed communities. Now, during my trip to Jamaica, I stayed at Sophie's Place, which you just saw there. It's a home which was founded by Irish donors over 2 decades ago. 21 children with cerebral palsy and other difficulties and disabilities live there, many of them abandoned at birth. Now, today, the cottages and facilities at Sophie's Place are in urgent need of repair. They're wood, by the way, and they're infested with termites at this stage. Mustard Seed needs our help to fund and upgrade the development. So we've set ourselves a challenge to raise enough money to help them build a brand new cottage, fully funded by you, the Ireland AM viewers. Please text Mustard Seed to 50300 to donate €4 so we can help them continue to transform these children's lives. Now, the Olympic gold medalist and world record holder Usain Bolt is from Jamaica and, by the way, is a huge supporter of Mustard Seed. When he heard about our filming trip to raise awareness and funds for the charity, he sent us this message.
Good morning, Ireland. I just want to say a big thank you to the Ireland AM for visiting Jamaica and highlighting the incredible work being done here by the Mustard Seed communities. But they still need your help and support. So please give generously to the Mustard Seed so they can continue to transform the life of vulnerable and abandoned children. Thank you.
Wow. There you go. It's an extraordinary Ireland. It's like something, you go there initially, your things is like something straight out of a Bounty Bar ad. It's like paradise. And then you get to see the other side of it and you think it's hell. It's a peculiar mixture of the two.
How did it originally start 20 years ago with the Irish?
The original connection is between Gregory and Ireland because he did part of his seminary training here and he taught in Presentation College in Cork. So that's where the Irish connection came from. They were built by Irish donors. Those huts are wooden. And they look lovely and colourful. And it's amazing, you know, when you have palm trees and sunshine, things always look less grim than they are. And it is lovely and colourful, but they're now rotten with termites. So a really nasty storm, good tropical storm, and those will flatten. So they need to be built in concrete.
And how much do you think?
It'll take somewhere in the region of about €40,000.
Okay.
Okay. Now, I'll tell you one thing about Sophie's. It's very interesting. I've done reports in homes where you've had children with severe disabilities. And there has always been a sense of a sound of distress. Not that they weren't being taken care of, but people are trapped in bodies. They're not all necessarily intellectually disabled, but physically very disabled. And if your mind is operating, but you're stuck in a body that's in that condition, very upsetting, very frustrating. And there's always sounds of distress. There were no sounds of distress in Sophie's Place. And cynically, I thought, you know, what is it because of medication? Absolutely not. The place is so happy. They get one-to-one care. I mean, they don't have a lot, but what they do have is people to take care of these. One-to-one care on a 24-hour basis.
Which is a lot to be said, God.
Well, you know...
You don't get that here?
No, you don't. So that's... And also, by the way, some people will say, well, look, this is a religious organisation. Actually, of the 460 people who work for Mustard Seed, there's only 16 or 17 who are Catholic, and there's only 2 priests. And both Father Garvin and Monsignor Gregory would say to you, we don't look at a child and say, oh, it's a Catholic child that must help. We just see a child that needs help.
Yeah.
The religion is not really irrelevant. Faith is important.
And they must have to not accept children in. Like they obviously can't.
There's a waiting list.
I was going to say.
He's so wired into the establishment there that they're constantly saying, Gregory, we have this child. He gets calls saying, there's a child found in a skip. There's a child found in the foyer of a hospital.
And sometimes they just can't take them.
No, but he's eventually, and we'll see this later on in the week, he's building a place called Jacob's Ladder, which will basically be a town, his own town, his own community, where they hope to have at least 500 people, plus another 500 carers to go with them. Self-sufficient, fully functioning members of their own community. That's his ultimate aim. It's extraordinary.
I'm going to grab my phone and text because I want €4 to go to that cause. But right now, let's go over to the